Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to my live. And if you happen to be watching later, welcome to the replay. My name is Robin, and I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Couture. And tonight I will be showing you how to use reusable silkscreen transfers, chalkology paste, and a non-chalk couture medium that you can also use with your silkscreen transfers. Once you hop on, tell me hi in the comments. Tell me where you are watching from. I happen to be in very rainy central Kansas right now. It has been raining for about 48 hours straight, and we're all kind of tired of it. So let me know where you're watching from. Also, if you wouldn't mind spreading the chalk love around Facebook, hitting that like button, mashing that heart button, tagging your crafty friends, that would be fantastic. Also, let me know there's a little bit of background music going on. If that's too loud, let me know. I can always turn it down. But let me go to my comments and we will see who's here. I see that Jason is watching from the other side of the door. And I see that my friend Bonita is on. Welcome and good evening. I forgot the rest of my spiel. Still trying to figure out this new show flow without my regular intro. I have an earbud in, so all sorts of new things this evening. I am using an online platform called StreamYard, so I am live in 3 locations this evening. I'm live on my Facebook business page. I'm live on my YouTube channel, and I'm also live in my private Facebook crafty group. I tell you that in case you hear me refer to a comment that you don't see in your news feed. That person may be viewing and commenting from a different platform. Also, if you're watching from my private Facebook group, if you wouldn't mind giving StreamYard access to your profile name, that way you show up under your profile name and pic and not Facebook user, and I know who to say hi to when you are commenting. So with that, I think I'm going to flip the camera. So we're going to go to, oops. Still trying to figure everything out here. Okay. Now we can flip the camera. At any time, if my audio goes out or anything, just let me know. New things are always throws a curve in the system. So tonight I'm going to be making 3 different Father's Day gifts. Father's Day is a couple of weeks away. So I'm using a few retired transfers and a current transfer. This one just released, however, I believe it is already sold out and retired. It's the Dad Joke Loading. This one is from a few years ago. I'm going to be using this transfer. I'm the dad, that's why. And then from the new Proud Canadian transfer, I didn't think I'd ever use this one, but I didn't realize that this one was on there. It says, when in doubt, just add bacon. And I think that will be perfect on this cutting board. But this will end up being a decorative cutting board, but I think it will be a perfect gift for the grilling dad or the barbecue dad, things like that. So for the two smaller dad transfers, I'm going to be using these. They're 3.5 by 5 photo frames. And technically they're supposed to be landscape, but I'm going to use them this way, and then you can just put in a landscape 3.5 by 5 photo. And with these two, I'm going to be using a product called Torch Paste. So it is basically aluminum chloride and a food thickener with some food coloring in it, so you can see it. Usually it's clear, but this producer has put in orange food coloring so that we can see it. And once you apply a heat gun to it, it will actually burn into the wood. So with that, let's get started. These are silkscreen, reusable silkscreen transfers. So they are sticky backed. They are good for about 8 to 12 uses, depending on how well you take care of them. So because they are reusable, I have already written the name of the transfers on the back. So I wrote, this one is Dad Joke Loading, and then here I wrote the word bad, and I wrote it this orientation so that I know when I put it back on the transfer backer sheet that the top goes towards this way. So I'd already, this one was called #DadLife, so I already wrote that one in. And I may end up cutting this one apart, so I went ahead and wrote 3 different names. I wrote that they're all 3 from Proud Canadian. This one is Just Add Bacon, and this one is maple syrup, and then that one is the full Proud Canadian. So we will put those 2 to the side, and I think we'll do these 2 first. And I don't believe I need to do any surface prep to these 2 frames. I have used this transfer before, and I'm just going to kind of gauge. Yeah, it's not very sticky, so I'm not going to fuzz. So I'm going to pull it towards me. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So I'm just going to place it on the frame. I think it's slightly crooked. I went too far. That looks good. We're going to go with that. So I'm just going to smooth it out. And I'm going to burnish around all of the letters to make sure I have a good seal. Okay, so this is again called the torch paste. So I'm going to apply the paste, and then while the paste is drying on this surface, then we will apply the other transfer to this surface. And it's just like applying chalk paste. So it's just kind of this jelly-like consistency. So I'm just going to use my squeegee, just like the chalk paste. And I'm just going to drag it down that silk screen area. And it's just, in this instance, it's just like putting jelly on toast. But you only want to make sure you put it where you want it, because if you touch any other part of the surface with this torch paste and then apply the heat to it, it will burn that section. I'm just kind of smoothing it out, making sure I've covered all those smaller letters at the bottom. It does not hurt the transfer. So we'll pull this one off. I'm just going to set that to the side. So here's what it looks like before it dries. You can kind of see it on there. And it will, as it dries, it will kind of go back to its original color. So I can't decide. I think I'll just do the dad. Well, I might put bad on there. So you do notice that this transfer has a suggested cut line, so I can cut the bad part around. I can cut around it. And I'm going to leave my transfer and backer sheet intact. So I'm just going to cut that portion of the transfer off. And because I haven't used this transfer yet, I am going to fuzz it. So I have my terry cloth towel here. And I'm just going to fuzz it a couple times. That will keep my transfer from being so sticky that it pulls or stretches when I remove it from the surface. And then I think that's where it goes. So whenever you're in doubt of placement, or if you need ideas, I like to go to my browser and I just put in, this one's called Dad Joke Loading, and then I put in a comma and then Couture, and that will usually pull up, and then I go to images, and if anyone's created with it, it will come up usually. But I don't see a whole lot. The other thing you can do is pull up the catalog, which, let me see, I don't know what, let's now, since I couldn't find it online, let's pull out the catalog and look for it. And this does, just to go back to this one, this does need to dry for about 2 minutes. So that's why we're not doing anything with it yet. So I don't know if you can see on that one, they did the bad just up above the dad. Oh, and actually they crossed out. I don't know how we're going to do that. We may not use that line. So the line on this transfer, I'm glad I looked, is you're supposed to use this little line on that transfer to cross out the word dad, and then you just put in bad up there. I think we're just going to leave it out just to play it safe. So I think I'm going to move this up some just to kind of center it in the area. So I'm going to burnish it. And I'm just going to grab my squeegee and my torch paste. And you can make this on your own. You just need to get some, I think it might be ammonium chloride. I think it's ammonium chloride. And just a food thickener off of Amazon. And then add your own color to it, food coloring. That way you can see when you're applying it. Otherwise, it's just kind of a clear. There might be I'll have to look it up. There's a YouTube video that I watched originally where you could make your own, and then somebody decided to manufacture their own version. But after I'm done with this, I will post a link in the comments to that original YouTube video that I watched, and he goes through, I think it's Mr. Crafty Pants. He goes through what you need to make it. I'm just making sure I have it all good and covered. So I'm going to put that up there to the side. And then we'll pull this one off. So there's what that one looks like before we burn it. So to burn these, you just need I'm going to put this one clear to the side. You just need a heat gun that gets up to at least 1,000 watts and gets, I think it gets at least 400 degrees. I'm just going to do a little test. It may not be dry. So just want to keep your heat source moving. And you'll eventually start to see it turn. But you know what? And also, before I do that, I'm going to take the glass out just because I don't want to heat the glass up and then bust it. I should have done that to begin with, because I could totally see that happening. Now we'll try it again. And it takes a little bit to get it to start to turn. Jason's handing out dad jokes. Dad joke of the evening. What do you call a hippie's wife? Does anybody know the answer? What do you call a hippie's wife? I can smell it starting to work. Yep. Can you see the D starting to turn? The hippie's wife, Mississippi. Ha 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 ha. That's pretty funny. Can you see that starting to turn? And once it starts, it goes fairly fast. Jason says, burn, baby, burn. Hopefully we don't start a fire. So move to the A. I'm not going to sing them because Jason's rolling out music quotes, but if I start singing them, I'll get a copyright claim. It's fun to watch the wood turn. Benita says, that's so freaking cool. You have to, it's really cool to watch it in person. Okay, so we'll do the D. I probably should have brought my silicone mat in. Hey Jason, if you have a minute, I may have you get my heat press mat so I don't make my desk too hot. Woo! And you're, you can, it's in here, dear. You can see the moisture being pulled out of the wood. It kind of sweats, kind of like I am. You're fine. It's underneath the Cricut press. So don't be alarmed if your wood starts to warp, but once it cools off, it will unwarp itself. Thanks. I should have heard that. Thank you. I just have my little heat press mat here. It'll kind of help protect my desk a little bit. Okay, so we have the big letters done. Now we just need to quickly go to these up here. This should go fast. Woo! It's hot in here. And if anyone local wants to borrow any of this, just let me know, because it'll take me a while to use all that. Just a little bit more. Okay. Woo! So there's what it looks like. It's super hot, but it totally turned. So it went from that to completely wood burned. So yeah, that's really cool. It's a really fun process to watch. So then we'll just let that cool. I think I'll just set it right. You just set it right up there. And then I'm going to pop the glass out of this one so we don't bust it. This one shouldn't take very long. The letters in Dad were really big, so it took a while for that to start to turn. Okay. So we'll pop that out. Okay, so we'll do this one. It's already starting to turn. And if you have an industrial heat press that gets up above 400 degrees, you're supposed to be able to use that as well. But and there are like the second generation of the easy presses are supposed to get up above 400. I have the original version, so mine doesn't get that hot. So you wouldn't have to necessarily use a heat gun. And it wouldn't take as long. Gosh, you can see it pulling the moisture out. In fact, it's pulling all my... It's doing something funky to this wood. There's a lot of moisture or something in this wood. Maybe some sap. You can see these weird lines. Yeah, you can see where it's pulled the moisture out. See these lines? That's all either sap or moisture that the heat gun has pulled out. Uh-oh, what did the evil chicken lay? Deviled eggs. Okay, so that's super hot. So we're going to lay that to the side. So that is how you use torch paste. So let's clean up here a little bit. I'm going to try to set this off to the side and not burn myself. I'm just going to set it over here. Point the hot tip away from me. And then we're going to get out our cutting board. That one was an easy one, Jason. Okay, so let's cut this one. I need to be careful. Yeah, my desk is cool. I don't want to melt my transfers. So I'm just going to cut this one apart. I'm going to score this one apart. So I'm just putting my scissors underneath the transfer. Sometimes these are so hard to get up. I wasn't going to get this one, but when I got the whole pack, it came with it. I definitely like this one. And I definitely like these lines. So you can use those on any design. And then you could use the word proud. Like you could use the word proud with this transfer and say proud dad. And then obviously the leaf you could use for any fall designs. So even though, I guess my point is, even though you might not particularly like it, the transfer, how it was made, you can definitely pull bits and pieces out of it and use it for other things. So I'm just going to fuzz this a couple times. This is a pretty smooth surface, so I'm not even going to wax. I'm just going to fuzz it a few times. I don't think all of these lines are going to fit, but we'll do what we can. So this says, when in doubt, just add bacon. And I'm just going to use a simple black paste on it. I think. I don't know. Yeah, I think black will work better than white. I thought about trying to burn these, but I don't know how that wood might take a while to burn. So we'll just do black paste. I'm just going to get a squeegee. So this is just the chalkology paste that is made to go with these transfers. But like I just showed, don't be, I encourage you to try other mediums with your transfers. Like etching cream is great. It works great with the transfers. Even thickening some of your acrylic paints with like cornstarch or a little bit of like plaster of Paris, but you'll have to definitely clean your transfers super quick. There is a product called Coco's Chalky Powder that you can add to acrylic paints that you may already have, that you can create a kind of your own DIY chalk paste that way. So don't be afraid to try other medium with your transfers. I think this weekend I'm going to try to experiment with bleach, like a thick bleach solution, kind of like a bleach paste, and try to make some t-shirts. That turned out perfect. Now I need to remember to grab my quick dry tool and not the heat gun so I don't melt everything. certainly a lot quieter than that heat gun. So when it stops raining, I will seal this one. And I still have to seal the other one that I made last week. I think I'm just going to wrap. I don't know if I'm going to use thick twine or thin twine. I'm not going to add any bows because that's not very masculine, but I thought that I might just try to see what I think that would work. Just to wrap the neck, or should I just leave it plain? What do you all think? So I'm not gluing anything down yet. I think I should just leave it plain. Plain. Dudes are simple, you think? Bonita says she would wrap the neck a little. Maybe just like that. A little more. Do a little more. A couple more times. Okay. Can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just going to put my towel down so I don't scratch my design. And I do have my glue gun turned on. So I'm just going to add a tiny line of glue here. And I'm going to use my multi-tool to help hold it down so I don't burn my fingers. Same way with that end. So I'm just going to hold that down. Okay. So in less than 45 minutes, we have made 3 easy Can you hear me now? Is that better? Just do it this way. Can you still hear me? Nope, no audio. Oh, you can hear me now? Okay. Yeah. When I bumped myself out, I hit the side of my mouse and it bumped me out of the studio, but it kept everything going. So that's what I have for you. We have this cute little dad joke loading. Peekaboo. Then we have I'm the dad, that's why. And then for all you bacon aficionados, when in doubt, just add bacon. So I hope to have all three of these at CJ's this weekend. So if you're looking for a Father's Day gift, check out my booth at CJ's. I can always custom make any of these as well. If you're local to me and you happen to have transfers and you want to try out the torch paste, holler at me and I will let you borrow it because I have a lot. I mean, it looks like a small container, but it doesn't take a lot at all. So this lasts me forever. I need to use it before the shelf life goes bad. So holler at me. Let me know if you want to borrow it. There are 6 more days to get the lemonade stand Club Couture transfer. So if you aren't a club member and you would like access to that transfer, then holler at me or put club down in the comments. Transfer Palooza is going on. So buy 2 transfers, get 1 free of equal or lesser value. If you want more information about that, put transfer down in the comments. There's also some Club Couture Club Couture promotions going on. So if you want more information about that, let me know and I will be more than happy to get you that information. I think that's about it for this evening. I won't be back live again until Monday at 7, probably 15 Central Time. I hope you guys have a great extended weekend. Stay safe. Say some prayers for all the craziness that's happening in the world. Thank veterans. Spend quality time with your family because tomorrow is never promised. So I will talk to you later and have a great weekend. And thanks for watching.